Hey everyone, today I have for you a very interesting entrepreneur. His name is Victor Gichun. He runs a company called Excess Logic, and he's not a client of ours. But so we recently did an interview. He interviewed me about trademarks, of course, and at the end of the interview, he actually shared his story, and I found it so fascinating that I wanted to bring Victor to you so that he can share some of the great stuff that he's done and that he's working on that I think is going to be very relevant to people who follow me. So, Victor, welcome to the show.
Hi, Andrew. Thank you so much for having me here. Looking forward.
Yeah. So uh, you probably can hear it in my accent. You probably may be able to hear it in Victor's accent. We're not native to North America. So Victor, how'd you end up in the States? Like what's your story? Let's start there.
So my story begins when I was a kid, and I was born in Soviet Union. And when I was like around 14 years old, I watched the movie "The Moscow on the Hudson" with the Robin Williams, who fled from the Russian the concert group in New York, and he became the American, and it showed me the America how it is, because that time in Soviet Union it was a lot of propaganda, and we didn't see the reality as it is. So I like, wow, people walking on the streets, people smiling to each other, and so on and so forth. So since then I've been dreaming about moving here, and but my dream realized like 11, 12 years ago. So when Soviet Union collapsed, I first moved from Ukraine to Russia, and then from Russia I moved here 12 years ago, and this is how I ended up in the United States.
Um, is America today what you thought it was or would be when you moved? How's it
The
changing?
first impression was unexpectedly so good, because even though it was shocking, I arrived in 2011 to New York, and I was shocked. For the first 3 hours, maybe because of the jet lag, I was afraid to get out of the hotel. It was everything was so much bigger, even compared to Moscow.
Uh-huh.
So I just took a like 3 hour nap just to calm down. And then when I got out, I was surprised. I was walking everywhere without even GPS. It was so simple and logical for me. This street, that street,
Very,
and yeah,
yeah,
like a
very
square.
squarish.
Right,
Yeah,
because I lived for 18 years in Moscow. I was always was confused with those circles, small circle, bigger circle, and like a dead end, and I always have been confused. And I'm like, wow, this is good. Some people who build the structure here, infrastructure, they really thought like make it easy for people.
hmm,
And then, yeah, of course, it was a problem with the language, but it's this is country for me. I can tell, because people very proactive, business oriented. I always been business oriented. I started making my own money like since I was like probably 11. Even in Soviet Union, I was able to hustle and bustle and make some money, during the school break. So yeah, I love country, and I, to be honest, didn't even expect that I will feel so happy here. To be honest, it's just more than even my expectations, I would say.
so you almost stole my question, but I think you left me a little bit to ask you there. So we'll get to your current company in a moment, which
Mhm.
is definitely not a common industry that you decided to go into, and something that fascinated me. Well, the question I had for you is, how much of business experience have you had before you moved to the States? Like, was this the first real business
Mhm.
that you decided to run, or did you have something like this in Ukraine or Russia or somewhere?
Yeah, good question. So in Ukraine, yeah, I had like kind of experience. I would say it was 90s, right before, like 2 years before the collapse. I was around 18 years old, and I work at like a product base that had different products, chemical products. The utensils was selling different. It's like a base, and I had access to product that you couldn't buy in the stores. So what I was doing, I was taking those products because I had the ability to buy them for real price, and then I was reselling them through consignment stores. That was my first experience in Ukraine. Then when I moved to Russia and I graduated the university, I kind of used to work for on TV for some time, and then I quit and got an education about software development, and I started my business in Russia.
Hmm.
It was about like we sold it after 14 years of business. It was successful business. We've been making websites and internet solutions and all this identity and search engine optimization services. That time it was no competition, no nothing. So when I moved here, I had that experience. It was already like it was the third business in Russia. So before I had some retail business as well, the short time when I was a student just to make some money. Yeah, that was not the first
So
business.
that Russian SEO and website building business, were you doing most of the work, or were you mostly an owner and had a team who did
No,
all
no,
the
no,
work
no, no.
for you?
I haven't done anything myself as a developer. So when I started business, I created the first website and I just created the back end because I was back end software developer. And I
Hmm.
used to work for, when I graduated college in Moscow, I worked for about a year and a half as a software developer. And this is where I learned the skills how to, because I had in mind, okay, I'm going to start my business, but to start my business, you need to understand how a business works. So in order to do that, I found a job. I started working and I started learning how my boss, how he dissect the project, give it to different people, how he control it, how to do these deadlines, all the things, how the teamwork works, and so on and so forth. So I created the first website, and then my guy who work as a front end designer, he says, "Listen, why don't we put ad on the internet and just get some more orders?" And this is how we started. And I used to work as a software developer, and I started taking calls. For this, I need to go to the corridor so my boss doesn't hear what I'm talking about. Yeah, it ran for about successfully for about 6 months, and I figured out there are so many orders because at that time the competition was almost zero. So you
Right.
just put $500 on the internet and you got $5,000 orders like that, doing nothing. So
Huh.
you never make a call. So
Yeah.
I quit and I rented an office. I had $7,000. I put in my business, and then within like 5 years, we grew like in millions of dollars in revenue making those websites. This is
Hmm.
how it was. So I hired team. I had at the peak before 2008 crisis, I said we had about 70 people.
Wow.
It was
Did you
big
have any
company.
formal training, like formal education on business, like MBA
No,
or something like that?
no, I didn't
So,
have. I
so
like
where
to
you
read.
say, so where you say you learned all this, where'd you learn it? How'd you learn it? Just from
Uh,
watching
just
others, or?
reading, listening. Usually, I surround myself with friends who older than me and already got this experience.
Hmm.
My father-in-law, he ran the business, so ask a lot of questions from him as well. And I just learner. I like life learner. I'll always learn. This is like my motto, I would say. You can
Hmm.
always, especially right now when you have YouTube, you can learn anything. You don't need to go to college pretty much to learn
Yeah.
things.
Yeah. What I really liked about what you said about your experience as an employee, I think what you said was actually very deep. That instead of just whining and complaining about how you're not happy enough being an employee, you kept asking your boss questions that allowed you to get out of it rather than go to the next job and be equally unhappy. That's
Yeah.
that's that's something actually brilliant, because I wish I did that when I worked on, in the big law firm in Russia.
Mhm.
Um, I only realized their business genius several years after I left, because I assumed,
Mm.
well, the clients are going to come. Of course, they're going to come. We're a good firm. There's a lot of good lawyers. And then when I had to look for clients, when I had to, put marketing, when I had to go to all those networking events, and I realized the quality of the clients the firm had, like it didn't happen by accident. And
Hmm.
I wish I had the brains to talk to my managing partner and my immediate partner and just ask them, how'd you do that? And
Right.
this what you said makes so much sense. For like, if you're stuck in a job, before you burn those bridges, go talk to your boss. Maybe he's going to teach you something useful.
Right.
But
And I always suggest to my viewers, I have YouTube channel, as you mentioned, uh, use 2 hours after work and use your work as a next step in your career. Never settle down unless you want to settle down. Some people just don't have a lot of ambitions. They just fine. I know the guy. I watched the interview. I mean, I don't know him personally. I watched the interview. He is one of the earliest Bitcoin adapters, and he is like 6 billion worth of Bitcoin he has. He still goes, has a software developer to 8 to 5 job. He like this. It's nothing wrong with that. But I mean, if you have ambitious and you think, like you mentioned, you complaining that you're not happy with your salary, whatever. Okay, think how can use your job, your experience to move and become independent consultant or start doing the same business or wherever and learn from people you work with. Exactly. This is important.
so you moved to US 2011, and how long did it take you to start a business there? Like so
So
you came, you had a 3 hour nap, then what?
yeah, I spent a couple of days in New York and then I flew to California because I didn't plan to stay in New York because I was fed up with 4 seasons in Russia and Ukraine. I want to live somewhere where it's like much better weather. I don't see snow when I don't want it. So I moved to California, to Silicon Valley. My friend just made this short. If you can see, I met him. I haven't seen him
Yeah.
for 10 years. He made the short Silicon Valley. Right. And the first thing I realized when I arrived in California, it's the competition so fierce in my industry, software development for website, for the internet, like a lot of tools that time already been like a Wix and WordPress and other tools that people actually don't need the web studio like in that shape and format like I had in Russia. So
Hmm.
because I turned on TV in my hotel before I bought my house here, I stayed in hotel, and I figured out that my competitors, current local competitors, showed their commercial prime time 6 p.m. My competitors in Russia didn't have money for the print advertisement or for radio advertisement. And here competitors show on TV next to
Right.
Coca-Cola. I figured out forget about this. It was like just right away. So I figured out, okay, I need to sell my business. I'm not gonna do this business here. I'm not gonna struggle.
Uh-huh.
And I spent about, I would say, a year to prepare business for sale. And then I realized in 2012, like about, I would say, 6 months since I was here, realized I need a different partner because I found local partner, technical guy who was helping me to prepare Russian business for sale, like visually. And I started visualizing, okay, I need a guy who live in America longer than me, older than me, smarter than me, richer than me, who has some lack of skills I have. So we can complement each other. We can do business together. So with me, he can do better. He doing without me. So
Hmm.
I visualize Russian tycoon, the Alik Viktor Vekselberg. Maybe you know he's from oil business, and he's very smart guy. He kind of built pretty much himself all this business. And believe or not, 2 months later, I was invited to a party in Los Altos Hills here, and I went there. And when I went to backyard, I just saw the guy sitting, looking exactly like that guy I visualized. And 5 people were sitting around him, and the chair next to him was vacant. I just came. I said, "Are you the owner of the house?" He said, "Yes." Can I sit? Yes. And I sat because I knew this is the guy I visualized for 2 months. And we started talking, and we talked the whole evening. For the whole evening, this is like advice to your viewers. If you go to a party, try not to talk to everyone. See who you can give value or who can give you value to you. Don't spread yourself around everyone. Do your homework. Who can be there at this party? This is just a little lesson. We spoke for the whole evening, and he said he has a business idea. I said, "Give me your business idea." He said, "No, no, no. I want to be a part of this business idea." I said, "How about that? I'll give you my business idea. If you like it, you share yours with me." He said, "Great, let's do this." I told him my business idea. He said, "Fuck, it's my business idea." So he had similar business idea. I had for software development to make an app. That time it was 2011. Remember 2012. You need to use different apps to make the mobile app for Android, for iPhone, for Windows Mobile. So you
Yeah.
need to create three apps pretty much. And my idea was, since I was from software development world, to make a tool that can allow you to make once and they kind of make click and get
Basically, a
three
web app that runs on
on
multiple.
three platforms. Yeah, right.
Mhm.
And he had the same idea, but for retail, because he was in retail business buying and selling surplus equipment. And
Uh-huh.
when you use Amazon, eBay, other websites, you need to put listings 3 times on each website separately. So he had the
Mm.
same problem, just for different industry. Can you believe this? So we were thinking about same problem just for different industries. So we started meeting after that, talking, and then he said, "Why don't you join my business?" Because I had experience selling to corporate clients in Russia, and among my clients was like top 25 companies, Russian Wimbledon and all this Cosmopolitan magazine, all these companies. Pretty large.
Mhm.
We made about 1,000 websites within like 10 years. We, at some
Wow.
point, were like number one web studio that make more websites than anyone within 1 year. But and then I said, why not? Because I didn't have business, and I kind of said, okay. And we started doing business together. It was in 2013. So it took me like what, about 2 years.
So that's the website business. The one you told me about uh, was different. The one that
No, no,
I
no. That partner who I met here, I
right.
didn't do software development. So what we started doing before we met, he was buying and selling surplus electronics and
Yes.
equipment. When we
Uh-huh.
met, he said, "Why do I buy it if you can approach corporate clients and take it from them for free so we can sell it and we don't need to put any cash up front?"
Uh-huh.
I said, "Okay, I'll try." I was selling to corporate clients in Russia. I will try here. My language was sucks, but I said I will work on it. And this is what we do now. Right now, our company, we help companies in the United States either
Uh-huh.
recycle or resell surplus equipment, but we don't buy that equipment. We provide services. So since 2013, from September, we're doing this business like nationwide.
One of the big shocks to me when I moved to Canada from Russia in what is it, '07, was precisely that you couldn't just throw away your stuff on the street, right? That you had to arrange for this to be picked up. And the bigger the thing, the harder it was to get rid of it. Like whether it's a Christmas tree or an old TV or an old printer, like you had to figure out for someone to take it off your hands. And yes, you had to sometimes pay them. And to me, it was like, I couldn't understand this because no, like I was the guy who used to the idea that you could put an ad somewhere and people would gladly take it off your hands for free, maybe even pay you, right? And it was very different. So, what was it as shocking to you that his idea was that some companies need to get rid of their excess equipment and and that they're actually having problems getting rid of their stuff?
Exactly. During this first meeting at that party, I asked him, "What do you do?" He said, "So I buy surplus equipment and sell it." I said, and when he offered me to do it, I said, "Why somebody give it me for free?" It was my first question. They can sell it. He said, "Yeah, the problem is, let's say you have 200 computers. How are you gonna sell it? You need to have a guy 100 grand a year, and you need to pay him 100 grand to man what? To man $10,000." And then I realized the economics doesn't work here. Yeah, maybe the guy in Russia, like this system administrator, will be make sense, or somewhere in Ukraine, but not in Silicon Valley, not in the US. And I said, yeah, so how many people and companies doing this? He said, yeah, there are some companies, but there's always market share you can get if you do it right, marketing and sales. It was shocking, but I can tell not only you shocked that this is how it works. I still meet a lot of people who live here. They couldn't believe. I just had on last Friday meeting with the IT guy who managed 7 buildings for pretty large company that creates software for semiconductor companies here. He couldn't believe that he have to pay me to get rid of 300 servers. I said, yeah, but you have 15 years old servers. Nobody want them. In order to come to your place, to take it from your data center, to disinstall them, to bring them to my facility, to scan serial numbers so you can provide reports so they gone environmentally friendly because there are regulations in the United States. I need my 5 people need to spend 8 hours in your facility. It will cost me 4 grand. If I sell that scrap, I will make 10 cents per pound. So if you have 1,000 pounds, it's like $100.
Uh-huh.
So you understand, I need to spend 4 grand to make $100. Somebody need to pay for that. And he said, okay, I understand. This is the reality. Somebody need to move out, for example. They change the business, especially after COVID. A lot of companies, for example, after COVID, they figure out that hybrid like form of working, somebody work from home, somebody work from office, much better for them economically. So what they do, they just reducing, they downsizing, they moving to smaller facilities. Let's say they had 600 people. One of my clients has 600 people. They were coming to the office every day. Now only 60 go in there. They no longer
Mm.
need that building. So what to do with electronics, right? Somebody need to take it, but they, like you mentioned, they can't put it to the dumpster. Another problem, if they keep this lease, they need to pay next month 250 grand for rent. What would they choose? To pay me 25 grand to take it or pay 250 grand to keep it?
Yeah.
And this is
So,
how it works.
so here's a question because it's such an unusual and very niche market. I'm really curious. So, is this something that people are searching for you, or is this you, not you personally, but
Mhm.
the company basically cold calling all the big companies? Hey, do you have any old servers that you need to get rid of? Or are they searching for, who can take my old server? Like, what's the, how do you get clients? Where'd you
This
find
is a
them?
good question. This is great question. This is, was for me the first revelation and biggest shock here. As I mentioned, in Russia, I had business which was booming because competition was none. So we
Yeah.
just put $500 on the internet and we got like 10x in orders. We put $1,000, we got again 10x. And this was
Mhm.
so easy. Within 10 years in Russia, we didn't make even one cold call, believe or not. None,
Wow.
zero.
Huh.
When I came here, I didn't have experience cold calling. I didn't have any scripts in my head. I had the experience of closing deals, of learning about the problem, of explaining solution, or matching them, but it was kind of helpful. Here, what first I did, I put ad on Google. And I got a call from Chicago, a grandma calling me that she has a broken toaster and she asked me how much I'm gonna pay her. And I realized it's not gonna work. And she just spent $2 of my advertisement budget to, and I'm like, man, this is not gonna work. We need to do something with that. And I figured out we need to prospect those companies, outbound prospecting. So we'll need to figure out who is our customer client profile, what company fits, what companies don't fit, who inside the company, what title fits, what doesn't fit. It took time, of course, to learn this thing. So right now I have a team of 16 people working in the Philippines. They trained. I have for 2 weeks video training for them, starting from customer profile, then systems we use to prospect, and then objection handling and all these things. Then they
Hmm.
have hands-on training with the sales coach for about like a week. Or about 2 3 weeks after that, they're ready to go. So what they do, they follow the procedure, they find these people and then book appointment for the
Hmm.
closers. And I have 4 closers, including myself. So each closer has 3 SDRs, sales development representative, who prospect for me, for example, three for another guy. So we have 12 SDRs and 4 BDRs, business development representative. And
Hmm.
this is how system works. So, and besides getting from them appointments, of course, I'm doing my cold calls and I'm do follow-up calls and discovery calls and meetings. And so, yeah, mostly I would say 95% it's outbound. Yes, we're still running ad. I change a little bit advertisement. I generate maybe 5%, maybe 5% generated by referrals, something like that. But mostly it's just you need to prospect, find, and close the deal.
So we also have a lot of people from the Philippines who work for Trademark Factory. Uh, Very interesting type of populations, put it this way. If what I found is that if you do a good job sorting out when you interview them, they're extremely loyal. They're extremely hardworking. There are some of them who ghost you like right away, which I found the easiest way to deal with that is just give them a test assignment during
Mhm.
the interview. If they don't do the test assignment, that's good. You've saved yourself a
Great.
lot of time. But if they did it, usually they're going to stick around. So your SDR calls, um, like you wrote the entire script for them, like from top to bottom, or
Yeah.
do you allow them to improvise?
First of all, yeah, I would like to. I like your approach to give assignment on the interview because yeah, there is a lot of people looking for a job in the Philippines, right? So how to find those gems which you want to work with, top performers as we call them. So
Yeah.
fortunately, I read a book several years ago by Chet Holmes called Ultimate Sales Machine. Highly
Yeah.
recommend to everyone, guys. Chet
Amazing book.
Holmes, great guy. So in that book, he shared the secret which changed my business a lot. And if you guys use the same approach, you can really uh, don't waste your time and get good guys and improve your sales and business. How to hire top performer? There is a simple trick. You can go give assignment, like you said. This is actually a good thing too. But we do a little bit different because this is work for sales guys for sure. So
Hmm.
what we do, we first have 5 minute pre-screening interview to figure out if this is guy is top performer or not. Because if he is
Hmm.
not top performer, you're not gonna make him top performer. God created him the way he is. You can train him until cattle come home. Nothing would change, make him top performer. He can read your script, he can be loyal, he can work 8 to 5, make enough calls, but he will never be a top performer. So how does it work? Here's the trick. You set up 5 minutes pre-screening interview, and what you do, you ask him, tell me why you think you're top performer, and shut up. Let him or her talk. And doesn't matter what this person say. You may turn off the sound. It's irrelevant.
Body
And once
language.
this person finishes, you say, nope, I don't see top performer. I'm sorry. And again,
Huh.
shut up and see the first natural reaction. And if the person is not top performer, he or she will say, well, okay, thank you for your time, and hang up. This person will never go extra mile to close the deal. This person will never go extra mile to do the job to get this appointment. Naturally, he or she give up too easy. You can't build this. This is taken from Alexander the Great, how he hired to his army to conquer the whole world. They
Mm.
threatened the guy, and the guy got white, mean he got scared. They never hired to the army those guys. Who got red, he got angry. They hired those guys. This is how he built this great army. So I
Mm.
think that came from this. Top performer always start what? you'd saying I'm not top performer. Maybe I didn't elaborate right. Let me put it this way. And he continues selling. He continues selling. He's not giving up.
Yeah.
These people you want to hire. So this is what we do. Answering your question about script, yes, they all have scripts. And not just they all have scripts. As I mentioned, after they learn those scripts and memorize like actors, though they talk it from their heart, so they're not reading it. They go with my sales trainer coach, and what they do, working on objections. So they use script and my like a role play. Oh, I'm busy, I don't have time, I don't have equipment, where did you get my number? Some very obnoxious objections, so people really in real situation, and it can go until they're really good at this. So we're not rushing here to put them calling, because we don't want them to burn leads. This is
Hmm.
very important. A lot of companies, they unfortunately trying to save time and money on training, and this is one of the biggest mistake. Put as much time and investment in this, and it will pay off. This person will work and produce so much for you. Just if it require for some people 4 weeks, it's fine. I always tell to my new hires, no rush, do it at your pace. I want you to understand everything we do here right. So when I have a final test, which is like 40 questions about everything he or she just learned, we're doing through Zoom, and I see, show me how you do this. Is it the good title? Is it the good company? What if this guy say there? What you say? So I do real things. Like you can't fake me that you memorize something. I will make you fail if I see that you really not ready. So this is
Do
the
you
way.
pay them during training?
Yeah, of course.
Like a fix, or like what's your approach?
Yeah,
Because there are
it's another
different
good
approaches
question
to
about
training.
compensations. Yeah, we have a besides the way we hire top performers. This is the first step. If you want to create like a great dream team, first you need to fix it's a hiring process, because you will be hiring constantly. Because if you hire right people, they will grow your company. If they grow your company, you will need more people. So everything goes from these people. Hiring. Then second, training. Don't be lazy. If you can do somebody, hire somebody. Create videos, small 5 3 minutes videos for every particular thing you want them to know. It will save you time. When I'm saying my SDRs doing training, I'm not involved. There is like video test, video assignment. I just see they do it, and I see the progress on the statistics. There are special software. I don't pay anything. It's all free. Yeah, I
Mhm.
just created those videos.
What
Training.
software are
And
you using for this?
I'll send you a link. I don't remember the name. There's some software. It's like 5 licenses free. So you can train
Cool. I
five
mean, it's not
people.
just for me. I am interested, but I'm sure people who are going to be watching
Let
this
me
are
let me
also going to be interested. So,
I will send you. I don't remember the name right now, but
okay,
yeah,
that's cool.
you can put in the description
Yeah,
of the
we'll put it
video.
in
It's a
this. Yeah.
great software. Seriously, 5 I believe licenses for free. It's good. You can put video, you can put files attached, you can do test. Great
Mhm.
content stuff.
Yeah.
And after the training, compensation. Go to your question. Compensation is very important. Again, the compensation need to be for top performers. And how to make compensation for top performers, what it make it different from the compensation for the regular people. Regular
Hmm.
people who are not top performers, they want high salary. They don't want a commission, pretty much.
Yeah.
No, they would be happy to have commission, but they just not
On
really
top of a high salary.
right. But they want just good, stable salary. And this is another test. When I go through so after the 5 minute pre-screening interview, when I figure out this is me or my sales usually coach, she's doing this pre-screening interview and then send those to me who top performers. Then I do full interview, like 20 30 minutes. And after that, the final test on that interview, I introduce a compensation program. And if person say, oh no, I need higher salary, so it didn't pass, bye-bye. I don't care. I need to perform. It need to be reasonable salary, not high, reasonable. So we start with the one amount, for example, right, which goes for training time, and if you make less than minimum KPI. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
uh, yeah. Then, so they get that minimum base salary during the training. And they understand the longer they train, the longer they will be receiving this minimum amount. So for them, it's stimulus to get it faster. So they're
Yeah.
trying to work hard. And then on top of that, the more discovery calls you book, there is like 10 minimum per month, for example. If you book from only 10, less than 10, you get, let's say, that amount of money. Then from 10 to 15, you get plus $100. From 15 to 20, you get another $100. From 20 to 30, another. So your base salary going up with each 5 additional discovery calls you book within month. So there is a
Mm-hmm.
stimulus for them to do that. On top of that, we introduced bonuses, because you want somebody come to the office and start working at 8 to 5, start working at 8, not at 10, right? Especially when they're in Philippines. Yeah, I have software, I see what they're doing, but for me to control 16 people, to go through the 16 screens and see what they're doing in this particular time, it's my time, right? I
Yeah.
do instead calling clients and closing deals. It will be more money for me.
Mm-hmm.
What we did, we implemented bonus structure. So for that is SDR who booked the first discovery call get immediately daily bonus on
Mm-hmm.
top of his salary.
Right.
Second SDR who booked the first discovery call, he is not getting any bonus. But every second, third, fourth, and so on and so forth discovery call same day, they get extra monetary bonus. And
Hmm.
the first two one bonus, and then the third and above higher bonus. And they know the next paycheck in 15 days on top of their uh, bi-monthly salary, they get those bi-monthly bonuses right
Yeah.
away. They don't need to wait for a quarter. And I can tell sometimes they get, like, I would say half of their bi-monthly salary, it's just bonuses, because they were
Yeah.
first on the day, and then they book 4 discovery calls within one day. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I mean? It
Yeah.
makes them work, not just start working at 8. It makes them work until really 5, because they know that the probability to book discovery calls, the highest, it's from 8 to 10 in the morning and from 3 to 5 in the evening. So this is when you can get guy on the phone, and they really work. So this is very important for top performers to have proper compensation structure.
So, to everyone who's watching this, I want to make it very clear that this interview has very little to do with the industry that you're in. It has nothing to do with buying surplus equipment. The stuff that Victor is sharing is mind-blowingly valuable. If you actually watch it again, you'll hear a lot of tips on how each of us, if we're an entrepreneur, could improve what we're doing in our business. So I think that's great. The question I want to ask you next is: so behind you, to your left, you have
Mhm.
those core values.
Yeah.
Could you walk us through that? What is this?
Right. So this is my friend gave me. This is core values. This is values what we use in our business, and I pretty much follow in my life. The first one is deliver. So amazing service. So you need to deliver amazing service. This is the best way to stay in business, to grow business. And second one, take ownership in everything. Like you mentioned earlier, some people come to the job and start complaining. Take ownership of your life, take ownership of your future. Don't blame anyone, don't complain. You, the one who decide where you are, where you're going. So take ownership, commit to continuous improvement, be constant learner. You need to learn, you need to commit. Okay, like Jack Ma, the founder of Alibaba, he said, what make regular people different from successful people, it's the 2 hours you spend between time you come home from work and go to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Regular people, they come home, they have dinner, they watch Netflix and go to sleep. Successful people do different. They come home, they have dinner, they have a walk, so to little bit refresh mind and be healthy, and then they spend 2 hours on working on their future. who they want to be. And this
Mm,
is what it is about. Commit to continuous improvement. Embrace creativity, innovation. Why America such a great country? Why America one number one? Because it happens innovation. They constantly innovate new things, starting in the beginning of 20th century when they innovated in steel production. And Carnegie Steel built a huge production of steel, and the whole world right now, all skyscrapers, all bridges built out of this steel, and so on and so forth. The iPhone, and then other things. The same for your business. If you want to compete, if you want to grow, constantly think how can you innovate in your business. Innovation can be anywhere. I just give you example with the compensation structure.
mhm.
This is innovation which we invented in our business. I don't know with somebody else doing it. Probably they do, but we innovated. And when we innovated, I can tell this process, hiring, training, and compensating increased last year, 2023, first quarter compared to the fourth quarter, 500% increase in number of booked appointments.
Wow.
Five, same salaries, same script, same business, different innovative structure. This is what is innovate. Build a positive team environment. You need to create fair team environment that actually subordinate can even make money more than his boss. This is very important. So no, everybody understand there is no politics. There is no something which can somebody get unfair. You get what you provide. In our company, my accountant, she spent 6 months to get back money from the government because we overpay some taxes. 6 months they didn't pay. She
Mm,
immediately got bonus. Do I have to do it? No. There is nothing in the contract that she's not a salesperson, but we got money back. She got bonus. My guy, work operation manager, he goes, he negotiate better deal with somebody, he got compensated. So always make people that feel they can make more and they can get more if they help company to grow faster, to do better. And then
yeah.
lastly, make it count. So what you do, you need to always see like big picture. So not just okay, we're here to make money, right? Why are we doing this? For example, my business, Access Logic, what is good about this? We solve three biggest problems. The first problem, we protect environment from pollution, electronic pollution, because a lot of people die every year in the United States and the world because they drink contaminated water. How the water got contaminated? People throw away TV into the ground and the chemicals leaked, people die, drink and die. Secondly, we help small businesses, for example, to grow. How startup needs scientific instrument, but they can't afford buy new one for $100,000. They come to our store and they buy online from us for $5,000. Previous generation, but they can do some traction and then they can raise more money and get to the
Mm.
level when they can afford to buy new one. And for the big corporation, we just help where we get this equipment. We just help them to do it environmentally friendly and recover value. Sometimes they get money back and reinvest in new things. So everything you do, just make it count.
That's that's great. I'm glad I asked you this because there's a lot of
Thank
nuggets
you.
there. Cool. So you mentioned you have a YouTube channel where people can learn more of this from you. Do you want to talk more about this for a sec?
Yeah, 2 years ago, my mentor, Jay Abraham, he suggested me to start a YouTube channel because I've been working with him since 2020 when COVID started. And I was looking for a new way to get more business. And he is a genius guy. Who doesn't know
Great.
him? He
Yeah.
was the mentor for Tony Robbins and for a lot of cool guys you see on the TV. Right. So he said, listen, even though you have accent, but you have personality, you have a lot of experience, why don't you start YouTube channel and invite business entrepreneurs like yours, Andrei, to my show and get their insights and share with the community. This is my goal right now, to share with the community what I've learned, what other entrepreneurs learned. So you guys who watch our channels, you can grow faster, so you can avoid some mistakes we did, and you can just get to where you want to be much faster. So I started channel in September 20, I believe. What was 2021? It's the contributors channel called the contributors, and I'm talking about how to start business in the US. I specialize in the US, how to grow it, how to sell, how to hire, all these things you heard during this interview. On top of that, how to invest. And right now, crypto is booming, crypto is growing. It's a new market. It's like new internet. I create some videos about crypto. So if you're interested in
So you
what
put
is
all of that
Bitcoin,
in a single channel, right?
yeah. So it's a three niche: how to do business, how to invest, and crypto.
So the contributors as one word.
It's a yeah, the contributors. Yeah,
Nice.
one word.
So that's another, I guess, nugget of wisdom that people can get out of you. Cool. I mean, I could be asking you questions for 3 more hours, but
Yeah,
I
nobody's
don't,
gonna watch that long.
I don't think people watching this would be too happy. So I'm going to ask one last thing. Is there anything that I didn't ask you that you wish I had asked you? Something you want to share as your parting words?
Yeah, probably the question I've been asked before, and I like to answer that question. Like one thing which make 99 why 99% people don't succeed, and this is very overlooked kind of reason. I want to share real quick. So the reason why people don't succeed, the main reason. So just imagine you're going to a summit and you see
Hmm.
the summit, right, to the mountain, and you walk for 5 days. And after 5 days of you walk, you're tired, you lost 10 pounds already. You figure out that from the spot where you are, you can't get to the mountain, to the summit. You need to go back to the base 5 days back and start over. And not just start over with the different trail which you know will lead you to summit. No, you don't know that new trail will lead. And 99% people who can't succeed in life, they don't succeed only because of this one reason. They stuck and they can't mentally force themselves to go back to the basics and start over. They
Hmm.
quit. Usually they quit, they just either go home, or the worst case scenario, they keep on beating this dead horse. They trying and they just die there on that mountain. So be flexible, be ready, and whatever you do, whatever you know about this topic or business, be prepared. Start over and start over as many times as it's required until you really succeed. So if you just get this into your mindset, there is no stopping for you. You will always succeed in anything you do. This is what I would just give to your viewers as my experience from my life and from people I met in my life.
Thank you so much for sharing all this. I think this is one of the better interviews I've done. So thanks for being here and thanks for sharing this. So everyone, Victor Gichun, the contributors on YouTube and Access Logic. If you want to get rid of some of your old equipment that you have no idea what to do with.
Thank you, Andrei. Thank you. It was really a pleasure talking to you, and I hope it was valuable for your audience.
Thank you.